Hey friends, in today's video, I'm going to share some of my recent vinyl record purchases. And along with that, I want to share a few experiences to go along with those purchases. And I'm going to do two mini reviews on two of those purchases. So today's going to be a mixed bag of, with us getting close to Christmas, I want to share some recent records that I bought that might be something that you might be interested in for Christmas or for Christmas presents. And then I also want to share a mini review, like I said, of two albums that I bought and my experiences with them to maybe help you make that decision. One of those being the 30th anniversary of Nirvana's Nevermind. I'm going to get to that in a little bit. First, I just want to go through a couple of albums that I've picked up recently and just want to share. And the first one would be, I picked this one up at Walmart. This is Elton John Diamonds. This is a 2 LP, greatest hits, basically. I don't know what source this was pressed from. It says it was remastered on the little sticker. It's the hype sticker. It said this was a remastered. All these songs are remastered. I don't know if they're digital versions. I don't know if they were analog remastered. I doubt they were all analog remasters, but I will say that this is a good kind of catch-all album. If you have somebody that's kind of interested in Elton John, or even if you just want some Elton John music in your collection, this is perfect. I'm not a huge Elton John fan. I'm not going to go out and buy all of his material, but this is a great package to have if you like, 5 or 6 or 7 of his songs, or if you just want like all the hits, because that's basically what it is. It's also a nice album package, I guess. You get 2 records, and you get this. It's a gatefold, nice open. It's got some, pictures of him, paintings of him in there. But this is what I really like, and I think I have the Queen's Greatest Hits also. And I'm wondering if the same company pressed, this package also, because each of the record sleeves on the inside are these, nice paper kind of sleeves. But this is what I like. It breaks down every song on the albums, and it gives you a little bit of a backstory. So that's really cool for people who like the music trivia and like all the behind the scenes stuff. I think that's a nice touch, and especially for a greatest hits package, it's a nice addition to have. Got some great songs on it. Your Song, Tiny Dancer, Rocket Man, Crocodile Rock, Daniel. That's just side A of the first album. Side B, Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting, Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, Candle in the Wind, Benny and the Jets, Someone Saved My Life Tonight. All those songs I really enjoy, and you get those in this one package instead of having to go buy all of his other stuff. Goes into his more modern stuff. You get into, I say more modern stuff. It's Don't Go Breaking My Heart. That's still older. I guess that's why I call it the blues. I'm Still Standing. And then all the way up to, it's got Can You Feel the Love Tonight from The Lion King. And it's got Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me, which is really a good version with him and George Michael. I like it. It's the live cut from it. So if you know someone who's kind of a fan or is interested in Elton John, this is a really nice package to get. Like I said, I got this at Walmart. It's well done, good quality. The record sounds good. Fairly quiet vinyl. Not any issues with it. The sound quality is decent. I'm not going to get into like audiophile quality or not, because I'm not really an audiophile. I'm a music enthusiast, I would say. I appreciate good sounding music, but when you start getting into the last 10% of sounds and records and how they sound, that's probably where I kind of trickle off a little bit. But overall, the record does sound good. Listen to it this weekend with the wife, and it's a really nice greatest hits package. So you can get that one album, and you've got pretty much all the big hits that you want. Another one that I picked up not too long ago is this Van Morrison Moondance. This is the back to vinyl edition. It says original album, 180 gram vinyl LP. This is an all analog pressing, And this thing sounds really good. This sounds like a vinyl record should. It's a 180 gram album, which is nice. It's a little heavier. And this is just a really good album. If you're a Van Morrison fan, you know, the whole first side of this album is just fantastic. And it's Stone Me, Moon Dance, Crazy Love, Caravan, Into the Mystic. I mean, that's a great side one lineup. So this was a really good one. I ordered this one online. I actually think I got this one from Amazon. Really, really good album. I would highly recommend it. And if you get this back to vinyl version, it is the analog remaster from the original tapes. And that's something that I like to try to find. I've alluded to that in some of my other videos. I like to try to find the ones that were, you know, remastered and pressed from the original analog tapes. I just think that kind of keeps with the whole vinyl sound, right? A couple more I got. Getting into a whole different genre. I just picked this one up not too long ago. This is the Pink Panther, the music from the movie The Pink Panther, the original by Henry Mancini. I'm a big fan of Henry Mancini. He has done a ton of, especially like in the 60s, he did a lot of the music for movies and shows and stuff like that. He did the theme song Moon River for Breakfast at Tiffany's. He did Hatari for the John Wayne movie Hatari. He did Pink Panther. He's probably most famous for Pink Panther, but he's really done a lot of movie soundtracks from that era. This is a really cool album. It's a really fun album, and this one sounds really nice. It says here on the hype sticker, entirely analog, original analog master tapes, 180 virgin vinyl. And this one is pressed by, it says faithful reproduction of the artwork. And that's what I like about these old albums is it really is, they do a good job on the jackets and stuff. This one is pressed by Palace in Germany. And I'll say that a lot of the records that I've gotten from Palace or Palace, I don't know how you pronounce it. I'm going to say Palace. A lot of the records that I've gotten from Palace, the German pressing plant, have been really, really good sounding albums, very quiet vinyl, and just really good quality pressing. So when I see albums that are pressed from there, I feel good about what I'm getting. And I think that these the Speaker's Corner, they're some of the runs that they do with some of the older albums are just really, really nice. So this is a good one if you have somebody that's into kind of older, you know, especially instrumental. Henry Mancini, big fan. This is a cool album. It's a fun album. Okay, so that leads me to an interesting story. I said I had a couple little stories for you. I've got this album not too long ago also. This is Bill Evans' Trio, 64. Bill Evans, jazz piano player. It's him and bass player and drummer. And this is a very, very popular album right now. This one was redone, this version in particular, was redone by Analog Productions. Analog Productions has been going back and getting some of the old jazz label stuff and reissuing it, remastering, reissuing. This is from the Verve label, and they did a fantastic job with this album. The album jacket was done by Stoughton Printing. They do really nice. This is one they call the tip over style. Really, really nice album jacket. The whole presentation is very, very nice. And Analog Productions, they press their stuff with QRP, Quality Record Pressings, and I've talked about them before. I got the Miles Davis from Analog Productions, and QRP is their pressing plant. Chad Kasem, that's his plant, and he's doing all these reissues and pressings. I've gotten quite a few albums from them that have been fantastic. The Miles Davis album is really good. They did have a bad run where they had a manufacturing defect. I actually got one of those albums with the Miles Davis. I got one of the defective albums. They did a great job of sending me another album and fixing it, no questions asked. Oddly enough, like I said, I've probably ordered I probably have 10 or so Analog Productions QRP albums. Oddly enough, this Bill Evans Trio, I got it. Sounds fantastic. I get to the second side of the album. I think it's the second track. And it looks like maybe there was something that clamped the album. And as the record goes around and hits that spot, it's a really loud pop. And of course I was frustrated. This wasn't a super expensive album, but still, it's, you know, you get an album, you want it to be right. So I immediately emailed Analog Productions and I told them exactly what the problem was. Within less than 24 hours, I got an email back from one of their customer service reps apologizing, saying, hey, we had a great production of those albums. Sorry you got a defective one. We're sending you another one. It's on the way. A day later, I got the shipping notification for it. Now, they're just going to send me the album. They're not sending me all the jacket and all that kind of stuff because nothing's wrong with the jacket. But they didn't ask me to return it. I offered to return it. I said, I'll be happy to send this back for a replacement. Didn't ask me to return it. They just said, new record's on the way. You should be getting it in a week or so. And that blew me away. They did a good job of handling my Miles Davis return, and they did an even better job of handling this return. So, you know, kudos to Analog Productions because, you know, some of these records are not cheap. And I understand the manufacturing process. Things happen. It's not a flawless process. And like I said earlier, I've had some really good records from them. I have several. My Leonard Skinner one is fantastic. And I have a couple more from them, and they're really, really good. But hey, they have flaws like everybody else. And I know they use old machines. They're using old presses. So flaws are going to happen, but the way they handled it is why I will continue to buy their products, because when they're good, they're really, really good. And if they're bad, they're going to fix it. And they're going to fix it without any issues, and they're going to fix it promptly. So kudos to them. I highly recommend them. And, you know, it's a bummer. It happens, but you got to respect it's a process. And they're fixing it. That's all that matters. That's good. So, one more here that I want to share, and I thought this was really cool. Wandering through Walmart. Now, I talk about Walmart. I get albums from all kind of places. I'm not one of these people that you have to go to your local record store. I do go to my local record store, and I have a lot of records that I have bought from my local record store, and I support my local record store because the guy that runs it is a super nice guy. And he has a lot of stuff that I like, especially a lot of used records. I bought quite a few used Herb Alpert records from him. But I go to where I can get what I want. Sometimes he may not be able to get it. Sometimes he may not have it. Sometimes the price is not the best. So I'm not one of these people that just refuses to go to big box stores and buy albums. Because sometimes you can't get certain releases from small record stores. Well, this is one of those. Bebopping through Walmart, I always walk through the record section, and I happened to stumble upon this. This is Johnny Cash, live from Austin, Texas. And this is a concert that was recorded for Austin City Limits. And it caught my eye because I'm a huge Johnny Cash fan. This was recorded January 3rd, 1987. And also it's got this, you know, kind of cool, funky red and black vinyl. So this caught my eye, and I actually walked away from it. And I said, oh, it's getting close to Christmas. I don't need to buy any more albums. But I don't know. I couldn't resist it. And I'm one of those people that sometimes when you see stuff, you got to jump on it because you may not see it again. And that has happened to me a lot. So I decided, okay, I'm going to go ahead and jump on this thing. And I think it was 20-something bucks. I think it was 21. So I got it. Took a chance on it. Because I'll tell you, and I'll go into this in a second, my experience with Walmart is hit or miss. you can get some really good records there, and then you can get some really turd records there. So sometimes it's kind of a crapshoot. But I actually have taken an album back to Walmart, and they exchanged it for me because it was defective. So anyway, Johnny Cash live at Austin, Texas. This is really good. You know, this is a little bit later in his career, 1987. But what's cool about it, it came with a DVD of the concert. So for 21 bucks, you got a nice album and you got the DVD of the concert. I mean, you can't beat that. That's awesome. That's fantastic. Record quality is, sound quality, recording quality is really good. Vinyl quality, it's a little crackly. It's not dead silent vinyl. Is it distracting? No, it's not distracting. It's what I think some people would expect when they think of a record. It's going to have a little bit of crackle, a little bit of pop here and there. For the most part, though, nothing real loud, nothing real obnoxious, just a little background stuff. Probably could clean it again and maybe get a little bit of that noise out. But the sound quality of the recording itself, the concert itself, is really good. The content of the concert is really good too. He's got Ring of Fire, Folsom Prison Blues. My favorite, Sunday Morning Coming Down. I know Chris Christopherson wrote that, but Johnny's version I really love. I Walk the Line, Long Black Veil, Big River, Let Him Roll, Guy Clark song, which I love, and Ghost Riders in the Sky. So, and he's got a couple songs that June joins him on here too. So this is really cool. I stumbled upon this one. There was only one at the store, and after the fact, I just happened to be looking on the Walmart website, and I noticed that they are releasing in their upcoming and pre-orders, they're releasing some more of these. So that's really cool because they're releasing a Waylon Jennings one, they're releasing a Willie Nelson one, a Chris Christopherson one, and Merle Haggard. Those are the ones that I saw. And so if that's the case, I am probably going to put those on my Christmas list because these are cool. And this performance is a good performance. Now, granted, you got to look at the track list, you got to look at the performance, you know, what time, what, you know, part of their career it was or whatever. But I'll say for Johnny Cash, this is a good one. The audio is really good. So if the audio is as good on the rest of them as that one, I think it's worth buying. A couple of them, I think they have the DVD. A couple of them, they don't. You just got to check and see, I guess. But I think for the 20-something dollars I paid for it to get a nice album and a DVD, that's kind of a no-brainer and, you know, good music anyway. Okay, so now I'm going to get to, speaking of Walmart, this is another album that I took a chance on. Like I said, I have gotten some really good albums from Walmart, and I have gotten some turds from Walmart. It all depends on where the record companies that they're buying these from are pressing them. Well, I had seen that the Eagles were repressing or remastering some of their early albums, and same thing, walking through Walmart, bebopping along, and I see that they have Hotel California. Now, this is one that they're touting as a Walmart special edition. You can see the hype sticker. The only thing that makes this a Walmart special edition is they put like a little tour laminate. It's a replica tour laminate from this tour. But that's what some of these big stores are doing now. They're taking pressings and they're adding a little something to it just so they could call it their limited special edition. And Walmart's been doing that. Target's been doing that. And I don't have a problem with that at all. As long as you're not jacking the price up and as long as you're not trying to polish a turd, honestly. I don't care. I did not care about the tour laminate. I really didn't. And this is not a colored record. You know, a lot of what Walmart's been doing is they've just been pressing colored records. I wanted a good copy of the album. I took a chance because, like I said, if it was bad, I was just going to take it back. And I'll tell you, this thing sounds really, really good. I don't know if it's analog sourced. I haven't done that research yet. It sounds like it probably is. It's a little more bassy, a little warmer, a little more organic sounding. And I'll tell you what, this is one of those that if you see it at Walmart, I highly recommend it. I mean, getting a little tour laminate, bonus, whatever. But what's cool about it, and I've seen this other places. Walmart's not the only place selling this. This is a new, these are new remasters that they've put out. And so you can get them almost anywhere. But Walmart's just making it their special edition by throwing that extra thing in there, which is fine. There's no problem with that. But look at this. The packaging is awesome. You got the gatefold. This is all the original album artwork. You've got the record sleeve here. And it's got the song breakdown, tells you who wrote it, which is cool. I mean, if you're into stuff with your records, this is the kind of packaging you like. And then they even throw in this little poster of all the guys. I mean, that's cool. That's cool. So that's one of those things, just getting those extras for your money. You feel like you're getting some value there, I think. And it's a really nice package for an album. So, and like I said, but what's most important is, does it sound good? And this album sounds very good. I think this one was pressed at Palast in Germany, because I think there was a sticker on it that said made in Germany. Pretty sure this one was one of those. I've gotten a few in the last couple of weeks, and I know one or two. I think the Johnny Cash one had a made in Canada. I mean, yeah, made in Canada, so it was pressed at one of the plants in Canada. I'm not sure what plant. There's a way you can go into the dead wax and you can look at the serial number and you can figure it out. I just haven't done it because it wasn't that important. Anyway, Hotel California, that's a great version of that record. I have seen it on, I think on Amazon. I think they have the same version. And I'm sure it's the exact pressing. Walmart just threw their little laminate in there and called it their limited edition, which is fine. Now, I know this album, I've seen this on Acoustic Sounds. I actually had this album in my wish list. And then another one of those things, I'm at a different Walmart. I always walk by the records when I go to Walmart, when I go to Target, when I go to Best Buy, wherever. I always walk by just to see what they have. This I had in my wish list on the Acoustic Sounds website, and I just happened to go into this Walmart and they had it. I wanted this when I saw it. This is the Eagles, Live at the Forum 1976. And it's the same thing, the little silly looking tour laminate, right? This is a double album, but it's only 3 sides. It's a A, B, and a C. But what's really cool about it, and I don't think it's gonna pick up on here, on the second album, the side D, or what would be the side D, is blank. But it's etching, so this is side C, basically. All right, there's side C. But the back of it is blank. Kinda, you can see but look, it's got the cover. Oh man, I'm getting all kind of reflections. It's got the cover of the hotel from the Hotel California album etched into the vinyl. So I just thought that was really cool. And this is the exact version that I know Acoustic Sounds is selling, the exact version, because in the ad it says etched D-side. So it's the same album. Just Walmart just slapped their little exclusive hype sticker on there and had these tour laminates made. And that's it. This one, another really, really good pressing. It's quiet, and I think this is another one that was one of those Palace pressings. But for a live album, the sound is fantastic. The mix is fantastic. You can hear every instrument. All the levels are just right. Nobody is blasting anybody else out. You can hear the distinction between all three of the guitars. The vocals sound good. Everything sounds really, really good. And, you know, it's got a lot of the stuff you want to hear. It's got Take It Easy, Take It to the Limit, New Kid in Town. It's got Hotel California on it. And it's interesting because Don Henley says at the beginning of the concert, he says, you know, you're going to play the songs you want to hear, but we're going to play a few songs off of the new album. And I think he was referring to Hotel California because this was the tour that Hotel California came off. So I think this was, and in fact, I think he alludes to the fact that the album hadn't released yet. The single may have been out because you can hear the crowd's reaction a little bit. So I think the single may have been out, but the album may not have been out yet. And that's the other thing about it too. It must be a soundboard recording because you get some crowd noise between the songs, but you don't get a lot of ambient crowd noise that drowns out the band. So it's kind of a perfect live album because you do get that live feel, and you can hear the crowd in the background just a little bit on certain parts, but it's not overwhelming, and the sound is really, really good, especially for a live album, because a lot of times I'm not a fan of live albums just because the mix is not that great, but the mix on that album is very good. So if you're an Eagles fan, I highly recommend that album, and I highly recommend Hotel California. They also have, I think they're doing the same treatment for a couple of the others, Desperado, their first album. I think their first 5 or 6 albums they're doing this treatment for, the remasters, repackaging, all that kind of stuff. If the other ones sound as good as these two, I would highly recommend them. I don't know if they're digital source or analog source. If they're digital, they've really, really good digital versions, so don't let that bother you because it's going to sound good. But just because of the organic sound of it, I feel like maybe it is an analog source. Okay, before I get super, super long here on this video, I've got one more album, and this is kind of the review I want to do. That was the review I want to do on those 2 Eagles albums. If you see those, you have an Eagles fan in your family for Christmas, those would be awesome purchases. The next review I want to do, that this is the hot ticket right now. 30th anniversary of Nirvana's Nevermind. You can see I got the little hype sticker still in there. Limited edition, 180 gram, premium gatefold jacket. Comes with a 7-inch record also. Says it's newly remastered. They did a good job. Now, what's interesting is when I got this, I had seen some gouge about this one. It was, everybody was kind of really excited about this. The vinyl community is really excited about this. It was coming out. And then all of a sudden, some of the people that I follow on YouTube were saying this thing was really difficult to get. Mike at the In Groove out in Phoenix, watch his channel a lot, and he said he was trying to order a couple of hundred of these. His distributor would only give him 10 or whatever. And so a lot of the people in the know felt like maybe this was truly going to be a much smaller edition than, hang on, I get something off my screen, a much smaller limited edition than what was originally thought. So I decided to jump on this album because if I thought, well, you know, I like the album. I have the CD. And I had been wanting to get this album. So I said, all right, I'll give it a try. I went on Amazon. It was a pre-order on Amazon. Target was already sold out. You couldn't pre-order from Target. Went on Amazon, pre-ordered it. They told me it'd be out the day it came out. It came out on the Friday. Friday the, what would that be? It was last week, Friday the 12th. So they took my money and said that I'd get it. And sure enough, I got it. I got it the day it was supposed to come out. So I thought that was pretty cool because I was hearing that this thing was going to be a hard find, and I got it. And here's the review part. The packaging album is awesome. They did a great job. Like I said, you got the album itself. It's a gatefold, opens up. I'm not going to pull everything out. You also got this small 7-inch record, and it's got Endless Nameless on side A. It's got Even in His Youth and Aneurysm on side B. They even put it in a nice little plastic because I don't have plastic inserts for 7-inch records, and I like to use them to keep them scratching my records up. It is a 180 gram black vinyl. So, packaging, presentation, they did a great job. Now, sound quality. Before I opened this, I heard people kind of bitching about the sound quality and the pressing. So when I opened it and got it all cleaned up, I put it on the old turntable, and I will say that it's a little disappointing. It's quiet. I mean, the vinyl itself is good. It's quiet. The mastering of it, I think, is lacking, which is what I'm going to lead into this with. This is same album. This was a Target exclusive. Another one of those, hey, we want to take an album and make it a fancy color. This is the same album. And it is pressed on a silver, kind of a swirly silver vinyl. It does not have a gatefold jacket. It has just a very kind of honestly flimsy jacket, okay? But this version is a remaster that was done, I think it was a 2011 or 2012 by Bernie Grundman. And you look on the Dead Wax and there's a BG in there. And I had read about his remaster of this album. And I've seen reviews, I've seen people talk about it. Apparently the original one is probably the best, the very, very original pressing. But this Bernie Grundman remaster that was done in, I think, 2011 or 2012, most people say that, you know, as a remaster or reissue, it's one of the best sounding versions of this album. And I have to agree. I think this version that I got at Target, this is the non-30th anniversary. It was just a $20-something album because it's their little special silver. Vinyl color doesn't matter. It's the source material. This is an analog remaster mastered by Bernie Grundman. And this one sounds better than the brand new remaster for the 30th anniversary. So, what are my thoughts on it? If you're going for just sound, find the Bernie Grundman mastering. Or I guess if you go back and get the original pressing, but those things are not easy to find, and I think they're fairly expensive. This one, if you're lucky, you can walk through Target and grab it. This is a good one. If you want packaging, you know, limited edition, maybe as an investment to save and try to sell sometime down the road, then this is probably the way to go. And what's interesting is I bought this from Amazon and I paid $31 when I pre-ordered it. They shipped it to me, and then I noticed that the price dropped. The price dropped down to $27. And I was like, oh, unfortunate for me. But then I noticed I got an email where Amazon said, hey, we sold you this thing for $31, and then the price dropped, and so they refunded me about $4 and some change. So, good on Amazon, I guess. So my point is, if you want the packaging, you want the limited edition, and I will say, I mean, this is a much better presentation. Gatefold album, you've got the 7-inch kind of single in there. It's just a much better presentation and packaging. But if you just purely want a really good sounding version of the album, go get one of these, the Bernie Grundman Masters. And I know this Target one is, and I think there are probably others out there that are using the same pressing. I think it was from 2011 or 2012. And you can probably do a little research and look and see which ones are using it. But I know for a fact this one is. I read some comments before I bought it, and I've pulled it out and played it, and there's a BG in the dead wax for Bernie Grundman. He's the master, the guy that mastered it. And I can verify that it sounds really good. The difference, if you're wondering what the difference is and why you say, oh, it's such a big difference, the difference is the Bernie Grundman version is a little bassier. It sounds a little richer to me. The new remastering, I think, is a little bit harsher, a little bit more kind of trill. It's not a huge difference. You're not going to be like, oh my God, this one is just crazy different. It's not a huge difference. It's a noticeable difference, especially, like I said, on the lower end. It's a fuller, richer, bassier sound on the Bernie Grundman mastering. And just a quick background, Bernie Grundman is considered probably one of the best mastering engineers in the business. He has done tons and tons of masters. He has a studio, I think it's out in LA, and he has another guy or two that work with him that also do a really good job. But he's done a lot of the analog production remasters. He did the remaster for the Miles Davis Kind of Blue, and it sounds fantastic, and it's considered now probably the best version of that album. So the guy's just got a good ear. He's just a legendary engineer, and if you get an album that he's mastered, you're going to be hard. I think you're really going to be hard to find a better sounding album. So just food for thought. So I just thought that would be kind of a little mini review if you're looking to get somebody something. The limited edition one I think is going to start getting hard to find soon. I think what they did is they just pressed so many of them and they sent them out, and once they press them, they're not pressing anymore. I think that's kind of how they're doing it. Whereas, some of them, they limited edition and they'll push some out, and then demand gets high, so maybe they'll push some more out there or whatever. But I think they press so many, they send them out to the vendors, and I don't think there's going to be any more. In fact, I've already seen some on the secondary market that are going for a little higher. So those, if you want it for the collectible part of it, you probably need to jump on it. Last I looked, Amazon still has it. So you can order it from Amazon for $27. For $27, if it's considered one of the biggest albums probably of the 90s, and some people say even bigger in the music scene, because it just kind of created an entire genre. So if you want it for the collectibleness of it, or if you just want it because it brings back a lot of memories, yeah, find that collector's edition, jump on it. If you want a good sounding version, definitely go for the Bernie Grundman mix. And, it came out in 91, 30 years ago, and I was a sophomore in college. I remember when it came out, and it was definitely something different. And it's a good album. It's a good album. So good one to have, good one for a Christmas gift. And at that price, especially if you can get the limited edition at that price, it's going to go up, because there are a lot of people that want it for the limited aspect of it. They're not going to, you might find a lot of people aren't even going to open it. I don't do that. I won't buy an album and just keep it sealed, because the whole point for me is to listen to them, not as much collect them for money. I actually considered buying a second one, and I said, I could have a second one and unwrap it, and then when they all dry up, I could sell it on the secondary market. And my wife reminded me that I wouldn't do that because I hate scalpers, and I think scalpers are what are hurting vinyl collecting. And, I said, you know what, I think you're right. I think I probably would have sold it to somebody for what I paid for it, because I wouldn't want someone to do that to me. If someone had a copy of it, when I was looking for the Metallica, the Walmart Metallica limited editions, this was the one. I got it right here. So Walmart did their little deal on this is not the version, sorry. Walmart did their deal where they did their limited editions, and they basically just took the remasters that Metallica had done, and they just pressed them, once again, they pressed them on different colored vinyl and called it a Walmart limited edition. When I saw those, I was really excited about them, and these were remasters from, I think, 2009 maybe. And this was the one that I could not find. I found the other ones fairly quickly. I had to hit about 4 or 5 Walmarts to find the other ones. This is the one that I just could not find. And I kind of resigned myself to not being able to get it because it's a limited edition. And I was already seeing this album going on the secondary market for $100. And I absolutely refused to pay $100 for it. I said, I'm sorry, I'm just not going to do it. And so I didn't buy it. I just refused to do it. And as luck would have it, one of those days I'm bebopping through Walmart, and I forgot where it was. I don't even know if it was here, my home Walmart. Bebopping through Walmart, and I just happened to be flipping through, and lo and behold, here's the Walmart limited edition of this album. And I could not believe it because I paid 21 bucks for it. So back to that, you know, which kind of brings me back to the Nirvana. My wife was right. If I had bought a second version of that and someone really, really, really wanted it, and they were a music enthusiast, and that's me. I'm not as much a collector. I'm an enthusiast. And if I had a music enthusiast that I knew just really wanted the record for their collection, they weren't going to resell it, I'd end up selling it to them for probably cost and maybe shipping and handling. That'd be about it. I can't do that. I just wouldn't feel right about jacking the price up. Anyway, okay, so I've rambled enough. I hope everyone enjoyed the video. I hope everyone enjoyed the information I had to share. To recap, get those Eagles albums. They sound great. It's a nice presentation. It's a nice package. We talked about the Nirvana. And then, you know, if you got an Elton John fan in your family, that Elton John Diamonds is a really nice greatest hits compilation. Sounds good. So there you go. And be on the lookout for those Live at Austin albums also. I have Johnny Cash. I have a feeling I'm going to be looking for that Waylon Jennings and probably the Willie Nelson one. I'll look at the track list, see what they have to offer. Probably all of them, honestly. I think I'd like to have all. That'd be a nice little collection to have, is each of those Live in Austin ones. So anyway, all right, video's getting a little long. If you stayed around this long, I appreciate. Thanks for watching. And give me a thumbs up on my YouTube channel. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm going to start trying to do more of these types of videos and just sharing some of my experiences and little mini reviews and things like that. Okay. Thanks for watching. I hope everyone has a great day.